Hello everybody, welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong, where today we're going to be just having all sorts of... Oh, whoa. You enter the trawler to find your crew gathered together waiting for you. Isabel has her head buried in her PDA, the rest of them stand watching her, trying to be patient. Before I continue on this, real quick, I'm going to say I'm going to apologize, because in the background today, you're probably going to be hearing, a lawnmower, because... apparently, the people who take care of the grounds here decided today would be the perfect day to mow the grass. There we go. Yeah, so you guys are probably going to be hearing this for this episode and maybe the next episode, and it's going to be, like, probably overpowering me. And there isn't much I can do to... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get rid of this. So, sorry. But, anyway, you look like you have something to tell the class. The dwarf paces up and back, trying to decide how to begin. I've been doing my homework on Josephine Sang and Sang Mechanical Services. I assume it's a standard run-of-the-mill mechanical services company. Actually, as far as I can tell, it is. She lifts her PDA to her face and consults her notes. In 2011, Sang Mechanical Services was a D-level corp floundering in the shallow end of a Hong Kong corporate pool. That's when Josephine Shui married into the family. Josephine thought big. She conceived of a massive project that would catapult TMS into the big time, something she called the Prosperity Project. Prosperity, that's what Raymond was mumbling about. Okay, what is it? Once upon a time in the 1900s, the walled city was a densely populated slum. Something like 30,000 people crammed into 6.5 acres. Wait, I've heard this story before. Shithole, hell on earth, yada yada yada. That's today's walled city, the second walled city. The first walled city started life well over 100 years ago and lasted through both world wars and almost through to the Awakening. It was torn down in 1994 when the government had finally had enough. It had become such a haven for criminals that the cops would only enter it in large, well-armed groups. Also, pictures of the Kowloon walled city are terrifying. Like, if you can find proper pictures of it, I might try to find one to, like, slap up on here. But yeah, like, that place is scary. It sounds familiar. In 2021, Josephine Sang proposed a vision for a new type of low-income housing project. The Prosperity Project. A self-contained, low-cost walking neighborhood for the poor, but on a grand scale. The Prosperity Project would give Hong Kong's poor and the flood of refugees pouring into the country a place that they could call their own. Something that felt more permanent than the sprawling tent city that spontaneously sprang up after the first walled city was demolished. The Prosperity Project would replace the tent city that would be symbolically built on the site of the old walled city. The slogan was a place of dignity where prosperity begins. The apartments weren't much bigger than the space you'd get in your average coffin motel, but they were built around plazas and marketplaces that contained goods and services catering to the poor. The government forgot the lessons of the last walled city. They loved the idea of containing the refugees and the poor to only a few densely populated blocks. It kept them out of the public eye. Securing the contract catapulted Sang Mechanical Services' fortunes ahead. It eventually put Josephine Sang onto the executive council. How? It's a very big slum. Apparently, there was also the beginnings of a series of lucrative building contracts that propelled TMS into the big time. Where's Raymond come into all this? Raymond Black doesn't come into it at all, but Edward Sang does. Are you gonna tell me that's Raymond Black? You got it. What? No, come on. Raymond Black was actually Edward Sang, the only son of Josephine Sang and her late husband, Breakwater Sang. He was an old guy. So like, he was already graying when... Oh boy. Edward was in charge of laying the groundwork for the walled city. Excavation and utilities, running in power lines, sewage, that kind of thing. So... what kind of a name is Breakwater? So our secret foster grandmother is trying to kill us? It looks that way. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Remember that massive gray water leak that flooded the basement back in 48? Remember what happened to Mrs. Maloney? What about it? Ray didn't know the first thing about sewer lines. He hired a small army of plumbers, probably paid him double what the job was worth to fix the thing, and it still took almost 2 months to get the leak under control. Not much of a utility expert? So, if this man was not in charge of the utilities for the project, what was he doing down there? I don't know, but Edward Sang disappeared from the public eye shortly after Prosperity was completed, around 2031. That's about the time he moved to Seattle, around 7 years before he found us. But what happened in the walled city? And what would make Raymond want to go back in there now after all these years? Well, I intend to find out. Oh, okay. Okay, well, let's get our payment. Yeah. Oh, 3 onward advances. Okay. From Bao, we have a problem to solve. It's urgent. Meet me at the Mahjong parlor. Kindly's orders. Okay. I'm not in QA right now, so don't bother coming to see me. We'll talk when I return. Yeah. Enjoying your newfound success in the shadows. I got another job for you, one that should prove very lucrative. I've been contacted by an employee of the Eastern Tiger Corporation, and he needs you to steal some research data and biological samples from his employer. The man's name is Tegath Wright. Until recently, he was a researcher on a genetic engineering project. He was cagey with the details, but I gathered it was centered around phenotypic alteration and postnatal genetic enhancement. Unfortunately for Wright, he's got a conscience. Stupid man. Luckily for us, he's willing to pay to have his conscience assuaged. Wright's project was apparently quite horrible. Experiments on living children, total disregard for biomedical ethics or safety. When Wright raised concerns, he was taken off the project. He decided to step outside the bounds of the law and expose their wrongdoing to the world. The snag he sees that his wife and child live in Seoul. Not quite the heart of Eastern Tiger's power, but close enough. He's afraid that if he releases the information himself, they'll be taken prisoner and use as leverage. He should have thought of that before, but that's not our problem. Samples and data are currently on an Eastern Tiger cargo ship, the NV Nalshi. Nalkai? Nalshi? I don't know. Sailing near Hong Kong on their way to Seoul. Storm slowed the ship down, but you don't have to go right away, but don't take too long. Once you have the data and samples, you're to call Wright. I've attached his number. I'll give you instructions on how he wants the information leaked. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll take it. And open the jobs, claim payment. Yeah. A little bird whispered in my ear that. So I've discovered that it is in fact either Wu Xing or Wu Sing. I guess. Apparently, something like that. So, I feel like Wu Sing is the closer, pronunciation, just based on what I found. But I don't have anyone who speaks Chinese to like corroborate that. So, yeah. Fortunes are already falling. Their stock value dropped by 2% already. The client finds this to be an acceptable indication of your success and has forwarded payment. I've attached your cut to this email. Cool. Okay. And do we have pay data? We have pay data. Yeah. Logistical data. Okay. So, now we're gonna have a sleep. We're going to... We should maybe stop and pick up some new equipment, too, now that we have, some muns. You awaken from a blank, featureless sleep, sweat-soaked and starving. You feel uneasy, but you can't say why. Groggily, you heave yourself out of bed. Okay. Simple enough. We're just gonna head out. See if we can find some shops. Let's see. This is... Actually, yeah, let's see if she has any updates for us. I don't remember her voice. Oh, hi, Algernon. What are you doing here? This austere, refined-looking elf is browsing the shop's collection of talisma, herbs, and crystals. Not noting your approach, he turns to face you. Good evening, my friend. I hope it's been a pleasant one. It's pretty good so far. You? The elf cocks his head, considering the question. I've definitely had worse nights, without a doubt. As I suspect, have many who live here in Hyoi. One need only look to the walled city to see how far into misery and squalor one can fall. My name is Algernon Halftree, and it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Algernon does not extend his hand, but he does incline his head politely. It's not quite a bow, but almost. We know who you are. You got some interesting eyes. Do I? I've never really thought about them, to tell you the truth. They allow me to see, and there our relationship ends. Surely there must be many people in Hyoi with interesting eyes. Cyber surgery is so common these days as to be almost routine. Most people's eyes don't glow. I suppose that's true, but there are so many inexplicable quirks of genetics in this post-awakening world. Birds that summon lightning, dogs that breathe fire, cats that transform into lions. Glowing eyes seem a small thing taken in comparison to all of those. Are you a mage or a shaman? What makes you think I am either of them? Perhaps I am simply an inquisitive soul. Algernon smiles and gestures toward the racks of magical accessories on the wall. Of course, a merely inquisitive soul would not be interested in purchasing any of these. Perhaps I am both, or neither. The nature of magic is fluid, especially in these tumultuous times, so soon after the dragons have awoken. Too many people try to draw binary divisions between methods of thaumaturgy. At the heart of things there is will, there's power, and there is change. So you've been to the Walled City? No. There's a leaden finality to Algernon's tone. He pauses for a moment before elaborating. I have looked around outside and spoken to some residents who trade at the edge, but I have not entered it. The misery and hopelessness of those within it is overwhelming, and I would prefer not to venture too near such a well of negativity. But those emotions have colored and warped astral space in a unique fashion, one that I felt was worth studying, albeit from afar. He shakes his head sadly. Such a waste of human potential, to think of all the ways the world and fate have failed those people. Where are you from? No, I'm not, I admit, though I've been to Hong Kong many times in the past. I was acquainted with Meow's mother, Eleanor. He spares a moment to survey the shop. I must say it's been kept in wonderful condition, if not improved somewhat. Where are you originally from? I have been traveling my entire life, and rarely stay in one locale for long. I would consider nowhere and everywhere my home. When you speak as many languages as I do, it's inevitable that they bleed together, though I've always had a particular fondness for Cantonese. It has a lyrical quality few other languages can match. Thanks. Okay. Nothing really interesting from you this time, huh? Oh God, what was... I think I just gave her, like, a normal-ish voice. Quick glance around the shop reveals an unusual level of untidiness. The whole place is covered in books, sprawled across the floor and piled high atop tables, chairs, and desks. The shopkeeper peers at you from behind a tower of loosely stacked texts, her eyes red and weary. We have met. I don't believe we met. The name's Crafty? She sees you eyeing the paperback chaos. But what's going on here? I'm pretty sure I have it on recording that I had a big long conversation with her about, like, figuring out what's going on with the dreams in the walled city and how her mom was like studying it and how she should be looking through her what motivation? What? I don't. What's going on? We sure have. My mother was an avid researcher. Yeah. Yeah, we know that. What? What? I don't. What? I don't. What? I think something has gone wrong here. Because we've already done, like, we've talked to her. Anything I can do. You keep investigating on 2 minds are always best. Let's. Okay. I'm confused. Maybe it's because we, like, heard from one of our party members that, like, we should talk to her. I'm very. Oh, what's in there? Nothing interesting. Okay. I mean, I could wipe his window, but we don't need to peer into his trailer while he's right there. I'm so confused right now. I don't understand what's going on. What? What are you up to, Val? Strangler Val stands impassively, muscular arms folded across. He's holding his gun. The low noise and stale smell of the mahjong parlor seem to glance off him like rain off a granite statue. He acknowledges you with a nod with a quarter of an inch. His rumbling bass voice seems to vibrate the floorboards. We have a problem. Maximum law. He says it as if it explains everything. He's been talking in the Matrix about your jobs. It's drawing attention. Kindly wants him shut up. I mean, I like having a fierce reputation. This is Hong Kong, not Seattle. A good reputation here is also a quiet reputation. Even in that hole you come from, having your name openly linked to crimes must be bad. Law isn't being discreet. He needs to be discreet. He leans forward just a little, shifting onto the balls of his feet, like a tilting slab of concrete. Your job is to fix this situation. Don't bother finding me when you're done, unless there's something to clean up. I've got better things to do with my time. He eyes you skeptically. Any questions? I'll take care of it. If you need to kill him, don't make a neighborhood scene. That upsets people. Do this like you're from here, respectful of the peace. It may be difficult. You'll probably need to do it on that boat of his. He almost never leaves it. This needs to be handled soon. He grunts and nods almost imperceptibly, as if to signal the end of the conversation. Thank you, Kira. Your skill is appreciated. Goodbye. Okay. So we need to go have a chat with the law. The long arm of the law. We gonna go Judge Dredd on this guy? I am the law! Oh. Hi. Maybe let's pop a save. I mean, probably not gonna end up needing to kill him, like, that's weird, but... Yo, Kira! His voice is gregarious, yet tinged with awe. He smiles widely. How can I style out the carnivore? What'd you need? We need to talk. Yo, I am your man for that. He glances around with an almost comic furtiveness, bulky goggles weaving. Here? I can't leave the palace. Keep your voice down and turn off your open sign. Yo, you got it. Anyone ever kind of tell you you're a spooky lady? You kind of are. Law's boat obscures you from the shore, and his bulky piles of tarp-shielded electronics somewhat obscure you from the boardwalk. Concealment's poor and dynamic at best, but at least the lanes of visibility are confined. I dig the shadiness. I dig it. Now, I am your man for serious business. What's up? You've been talking about me and my team on the BBS, and people are sniffing around. Ah, people talk. Whatever, it's no big deal. BBS and the Wampoa boards are secure. This is what Wampoa does. We handle info, and right now your face is golden in Wampoa. BBS isn't secure. It's not supposed to be. What do you mean? They're data havens. You're not actually a Decker, are you? Data havens are anonymous and hardened, not secret. Havens like the BBS are no man's land where very dangerous parties meet to carefully trade information. Corporate Deckers and bots crawl them. Johnsons use them as much as runners do. That's part of why they're able to survive. They're anonymous. The blood drains from Law's face. You're serious, aren't you? Oh, no. Oh, fuck, man. What have I done? He swallows hard. Sweat runs in streams down his face from under his VR goggles. He breathes heavily. A quick glance around reveals that there's a lull in the usually busy foot traffic on the nearby docks. Only a few people in sight. This may be the only opportunity. Oh, boy. You're an asset to Huey and Wampoa, but you need to be discreet. Can you be discreet? Yeah, I can. He nods and swallows hard again. What should I do, Kira? Play smart. Keep your mouth shut, play smart. He looks like he's about to be sick. His voice is faint. Thanks. You just came very close to dying. Running is a dark and bloody business. Don't get involved if you can't handle it. Okay. What is... Let's see. So this is the ship down here. Let's go take this ship. Oh, we're gonna have to go around the other way. Actually, now that we've settled that nasty business, let's see what you got for sale. Do you wanna... So we have that one right now. Yeah, we definitely want to upgrade. Do we want to upgrade to the one with the slightly weaker attack power? Because it has better literally everything else? Yeah. Let's take that. And then we have... Let's see, we have Decrypt, Boost. We don't have... like any of these other 2.0... we don't have any of these 2.0s. Okay. So let's take these, some of these 2.0s. Killer, Erosion, Degrade, Blaster. Do we want Medic? Probably Medic. Suppression. Yeah, that'd be fine. Confirm. Let's see, so let's swap that out. And actually, can we equip this yet? Can we... Haha, we can. Sweet. Oh, that's so much better. It's got 4 more damage and 2 more capacity. Lower accuracy, but can cause mild to extreme bleeding. Cool. It's a... Wow, it's a flechette pistol. I believe that's how that's pronounced. Flechet. I'm pretty sure it's... I've never actually heard that word said out loud. It's not a common... I don't know if I should... Do I want to keep giving him metadata then? Like... Because if he's gonna be... I don't want him leaking, like, my information and getting in trouble with him, like... where are the other shops? There's a shop up here, but I don't remember which shop is for what. This one's for weapons. I don't really need to stop there. I don't know if there's any armor, like, where any armor is. He's for, like, street samurai stuff. Let's just go for the boat. He's the drone guy down here. Yeah, let's just go for Jomo. Hi. Hi. Captain Jomo's busily playing some kind of gambling game on his comlink. It beeps and flashes as he taps away. Come on, Jomo, win, not lose. Maybe buy yourself that new hat. He doesn't appear to have noticed you at all. The game makes a sad, defeated noise. Jomo curses under his breath, nose wrinkling in disgust. Finally, he seems to notice you. Stupid game. Always cheats me. Never good hand. Now, kindly Cheng sends you, yeah? You need Captain Jomo to take you to play pirate. That's right. We're gonna take our trusty, dusty, classic crew with us, I think. Those are some cool-looking drones, though. Like, hover drones? Tasty. Or we could get, like, Street Samurai, or a weaker shaman. What's the point of using you over Gobbet? Like, you're strictly speaking just worse. Another Street Samurai who doesn't have any magical abilities at all. Oh, you're an adept, right? Adept in Street Samurai. Street Samurai. Okay, yeah. We're just gonna go with the classic. Our trustworthy team that has not failed us as of yet. The ride out to the the Nalkai is nerve-wracking. Captain Jomo seems an expert pilot, but massive waves threaten to scuttle his small boat at every turn. Deep thunder rolls in the distance, and at the edge of your vision, lightning occasionally illuminates your target, the MV Nalkai. As Jomo pulls your small craft directly up to the bow of the Nalkai, where you're least likely to be spotted, that would be a sentence fragment right there. Let's get a little comma in there, maybe. He throws a rope ladder up over to the side, hustling you aboard before pulling away. Time to get to work. We're good. I mean, we might as well equip that. Oh, that requires spirit summoning. Okay. So I guess we might as well give it to her, then. Because, like, if we can't equip it, I mean, might as well give it to the person who can. This is weird. I mean, it makes sense, but it's strange that, no, we only have 4 karma. Climbing onto the foredeck of the Nalkai, you pause to catch your breath. The cargo ship rolls and pitches with the waves that batter her sides and rain assails her deck. Deep thunder rolls overhead. After a tense moment waiting for the inevitable alarm klaxons, you hear nothing but the storm. Cocking his head, Duncan listens intently. I don't hear any alarms or pounding feet. I guess we got aboard without them noticing. Good. It'll mean a smoother operation. We want to keep low and stay behind cover. Duncan stares into the darkness, the subtle glow of his goggles painting his nose and temples a faint red. After a moment, he nods in satisfaction. This is good. Storm's going to make things a lot easier for us. Less likely to hear gunfire or fighting, much less footsteps. So as long as we can stay hidden, nobody will be the wiser. Maybe it'll sneak our way in. This is a sneaking operation. Colonel. Even if we have to kill a few, if we do it fast, we'll still be in the clear. The storm will drown out anything they send or receive on the radios. If they want to raise the alarm, they'll have to get to one of the shipboard handsets. We can take them out before they can get there. Hopefully it won't come to that, but, I mean, knowing... Hey, camera control panel. This is a simple interface for the Nalkai's above-deck systems, drainage, running lights, water pressure, and cameras. Most of the systems seem to be basic enough that you wouldn't be able to do much with them. Camera feeds don't appear to be being broadcast to the bridge. They're going straight to recording. With a little work, you can change that and get a better view of the deck. Yeah. A few moments later, you've rebooted the top deck cameras and patched them over to your comlink. Nobody on the ship will know, but you have a great view of the guards. Looks like these cameras are isolated from the below deck cameras. However, to gain access to those, you'll have to get inside the ship. So now we have... Aha. So we're going to actually have, like, stealth. Oh, boy. Well, we are going to call it here now for this episode. And we are going to come back and engage on our sneaking mission aboard this oil tanker. It's not an oil tanker, that's a reference. I know, everybody should understand what I mean by that, but yeah, anyway, we will be coming back next time for more fun in the rain. Well, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye!